So these are Tonalic icons, and each icon represents a Tonalic, a musical pattern captured from a real musician, adapting to your song's chords, tempo, signature and groove. They are not loops, they are not samples, so what are they? And how can you work with them? There are only a few things you need to know. Let me show you. Tonalic runs as an instrument plugin in your DAW. You explore and shape Tonalics in the top section and arrange them on Tonalic tracks in the lower section. Each Tonalic track represents one instrument performance. So whenever you want another track, you simply create and work on a new DAW instrument track. To get started, let's find our first Tonalic. You can preview Tonalics using example chords, tempo and backing tracks. Or, if you are already working on a song, enter your chords by typing them in, using the Chord Assistant, or by dragging MIDI files onto the chord track, and then preview Tonalics directly in context with your playing DAW. Once you've found the right Tonalic, just drag the icon onto a Tonalic track and extend it for as long as you want it to play. You can change the length using the handle at the front or the back, or move it around by grabbing it in the middle. And now to the most important part. The Tonalic region is just an instruction here. Not audio, not MIDI, it isn't edited like a sample. Instead, it tells the Tonalic engine where and for how long the Tonalic performance should happen. And then the Tonalic engine goes to work musically. It chooses musical voicings and smooth voice leadings, adds slides and locks the played notes into the groove, all while preserving the musician's original idea. On the Tonalic track, you can actually see the result with those small notes changing from chord to chord as the song plays. Tonalic analyzes the entire song up front. That way, it can plan voice leadings across sections and adapt naturally if you change chords later on. That's why a Tonalic region on a track sounds more alive and musical than the simple preview we did before. But that was just one Tonalic, and there are always more in the same style, all designed to work together. Anywhere you see a Tonalic icon, you can click it to open the set page, or just double-click a region on a Tonalic track. The set page is the musical toolbox for that Tonalic. Pattern Tonalics are meant for specific song parts. You'll usually find main patterns and sometimes drops or variations. Just extend a pattern for as long as you want it to play. Without any extra work, Tonalic makes sure the performance never sounds static or repetitive. Transition Tonalics like builds, fills or pickups are made to connect song parts and sections. They're not meant to be extended. When you place one in your song, it always stays a single transition. By adjusting the right handle, you simply decide where that transition happens. But ending Tonalics are more like one-shots. Moving or resizing the icon only changes where the ending happens. It won't repeat. Now you can start arranging Tonalics to build your performance. And here are some helpful tips. To add another pattern or transition later, just drag it in anywhere and extend from there. You don't need to make space beforehand. Tonalic handles the overlap. To replace an entire region, drag a Tonalic icon to the left corner of it. Right-clicking also gives you helpful actions for each track. When you move or resize regions, snapping always adapts to the zoom level. Zoomed out, snapping aligns mostly to the beats of the current grid. Zoom in, and it follows the visible grid like 8th or 16th. Double-clicking the scroller zooms out to show the entire track. In the center, you scroll through the track. On the left and right, you can adjust the zoom level, which you can also do with the plus and minus. Follow cursor controls whether the view scrolls automatically during playback. To add another Tonalic track, for example a bass, alongside an existing guitar part, just create a new instrument or MIDI track and insert another Tonalic instrument plugin. When you're working with multiple Tonalic tracks, Multitrack View shows all of them at once, which is great for arranging your song. If the screen feels too crowded, switch to Icon View for a more compact overview. If you take a look at the different Tonalic tracks, the one with the slight border around it is the one selected in your DAW. preview playback is always routed through the currently selected Tonalic track in your DAW. If you don't hear anything, just check whether the track is muted or turned down. Also, the options menu on the right affects all Tonalic tracks and the chord track together. It's especially useful for larger arrangement changes, like extending a chorus by a few bars and updating everything at once. You now have everything you need to start arranging real performances with Tonalic. And be sure to check out our other tutorials to dive deeper into other topics in Tonalic.